everyone, this is Thomas from the Art of Tomas. I have started this podcast a few years ago when I arrived to Australia trying to make it as an artist. And at first it was just me talking to the microphone about what I was experiencing, what I was trying to do, my goals and all of that jazz. I was not very consistent with it because I just had to work so much. I arrived, like I said, 4 years ago, and since day one, I've been pretty much working to get my next visa to be able to stay longer. And I was always busking, playing music in the streets, so that made it very difficult because I was not making a lot of money per hour, so I had to work just a ton of hours to make up for it. Luckily, a few weeks ago, I received the approval of my last visa. So I am done with all that struggle, all that running around. And now I find that I can relax a little bit more and try to do more things, more creative stuff. And that's why I am revamping, rebranding, relaunching this project, the Art of Tomas Podcast. And my goal is no longer to be just myself speaking to the microphone, even though this first episode is going to be just me. My goal is to go around Sydney and try to find other artists that would like to sit down and have a talk about art, life, and whatever is in their minds at that moment. I want to create deeper connections within the art world. First here in Sydney, I think, because having talks in person is better than doing it through Zoom, although I would love to do some through Zoom as well, because that opens the stage to the whole world. Especially at the beginning, I think it might be easier, because I have been trying to get this podcast going for a little bit, and it's always hard to get the first people to volunteer themselves to some of their time to sit down and have a talk. Because, of course, nobody knows the podcast and nobody knows where it's going or if it's going to be something or not. So it's like a bit of a gamble for them. So I understand that they're hesitant and they may not be excited about the project. So in order for me to get started, I'm just gonna try and get as many people as possible. I hope that as I get more people into it, it will be easier to convince the next one to be a part of it. I also want to take full advantage of the fact that I can speak 2 languages. So I will be doing some episodes in English and some episodes in Spanish. What I will do to make it easier for you to know which one is which, it's in the title of each episode. I will add a little flag. So it'll be like an English flag and a Spanish flag. That should make it obvious from the beginning what you will get. And yeah, that's my idea, that's my plan, and that's why I wanted to make this first episode, just for you to know what to expect. And hopefully, if I can get some subscribers, that would be nice, because that would help convince people to put some time and energy into the podcast, which, like I said before, that's the hard part of getting this project started. Now, another thing that I want to do to this podcast to help it grow is I started working on NFTs around 2 months ago. If you don't know what an NFT is, I think it's a bit hard to explain. I've been trying to explain to my family and friends, and I do have some hard time trying to get their minds wrapped around what it is. Basically, you create a digital wallet, and I can send you art straight to that wallet, and that art exists in the blockchain, therefore making it that people cannot duplicate, people can't take it away from you, and it's a very resilient way of keeping art, and it's a way of making digital art scarce, because when I mint my art into the blockchain, I select the amount of pieces of that particular artwork will exist, and they won't ever be any more than those ones. So by making it scarce, ideally it would make it more valuable. So my idea is to, for every guest that comes into my podcast, I'm gonna create an NFT about them, and something that has something to do with what we talked about during the podcast. And I'm gonna turn it into some sort of digital trading card. So every drawing will be like a little digital card, and I'm gonna give it away for free to all the people who subscribe, share, and like the podcast to help it grow. And ideally, then with those cards you could trade them, and if someone wants to buy it from you, you could potentially sell it. That's not the reason why I do my art. But if you are here, you're supporting me in the beginning, and you're getting all these free NFTs, and in the future you happen to make some money of it, I'm happy for you. If not, you can always keep it. I hope that the art is good and you would want to keep it. But once I give you the piece, it's yours and you're free to do whatever you want with it. So, that's pretty much it for the first episode. It's going to be a short one, just to explain those few things. I'm going to be making this podcast in a regular schedule. I would love to do at least once a week. I don't know if I'll be able to do that at the beginning. Like I said, it's hard to get the first people to join in, to take a chance on me. Hopefully, as I keep going, it will become easier. And hopefully, we'll get to have some nice conversations. And I want to have an excuse to sit down with someone and get to know them in a deeper level. And I also believe if you get artists together and you create connections, a lot of things can happen. A lot of things that we can't predict can happen. A lot of opportunities for collaboration emerge. Even if it's not me collaborating with the artist I'm having the conversation with, once I start to know a lot more of different artists, I can connect them to each other if I think they will be able to create something. They would be able to work together on something. I would love for this to grow enough so that it benefits the artists that come into the podcast, so they don't do it as a favor to me, but actually because it's good for them. I would love to have a way of helping artists get started with their projects. And if I grow this podcast enough, that could be the case. Something like what Joe Rogan does with different comedians, where he brings in comedians that are not as well known to help them get more known and helping them on their careers. I would love to do that for artists. And I know that that's a bit of what you would say. I might be asking too much, maybe. But I think at least it's a goal worth pursuing, and that's what I'm going for. I would love you to come in this journey with me, and I know in the beginning it's gonna be rough, it's gonna be rocky. I need to get better gear. I need to become more comfortable speaking to the microphone. I need to be better. I need to improve my vocabulary, my pronunciation of the words. English is a second language to me. Sometimes I stutter a bit too much. So it's all gonna be a long process. These things don't happen overnight. It usually takes several years. But I'm in this for the long run, and I would love you to come in this and join me in this journey. And hopefully we can create something special here. That's my goal. I don't see it as a way of making money of it. That's not my plan. I just want to create connections and develop an audience that is seeking to support artists and to help them in their careers. Because I believe the world would be a much better place if artists were more connected and more empowered to dedicate their time and their energy on the work that they're passionate about. Anyway, that's me. I already rambled too long. That's the podcast. Welcome. Come join me. You're free to check my older episodes about when I was basking like crazy. I don't recommend them. And the real podcast starts now from here onwards. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you all. Have a great day. Enjoy. Have fun. At least take some time during the day to do something that you love. And yeah, I don't know. I hope I'll see you again. I hope so. And I hope I get a guest soon to get this whole thing started. Anyway,